The skies above Eternia rippled with unbridled energy, as though reality itself had been torn apart. At the heart of Castle Grayskull, the sorceress stood in distress, her voice resonating with urgency. He-Man, an anomaly threatens the balance of the multiverse. A being of unimaginable power has crossed into our realm, an invader from another dimension. Prince Adam, gripping the power sword, transformed into He-Man with a thundering declaration. By the power of Grayskull, his muscles rippled with newfound strength, and his voice grew deeper with conviction. Welcome to Myths and Mythologies, where legends are reborn and gods clash in timeless battles. Here, ancient tales meet epic storytelling as we unveil the power, tragedy, and triumph behind the myths that shaped civilizations. Step into a world where heroes rise, deities thunder, and destinies collide. This is your gateway to the extraordinary, the stories that echo through eternity. Subscribe now, and let Myths and Mythologies guide you into the heart of legend. The saga begins with you. As He-Man rode atop Battlecat toward the disturbance, the clash of energies grew louder. A portal shimmered in the sky, crackling with red and gold light. Emerging from the vortex was a figure clad in blue and red, a flowing cape billowing behind him, a man with the symbol of hope on his chest. Superman had arrived. The Man of Steel hovered above the landscape of Eternia, his piercing gaze scanning the terrain. He was disoriented but determined. "Where am I?" he muttered. Moments earlier, he had been investigating a dimensional anomaly in Metropolis. Now he found himself in a realm unlike any he had ever seen. Before long, He-Man confronted the Kryptonian. Standing tall, with his sword gleaming under the twin suns of Eternia, he shouted, "State your purpose, stranger. Why have you come to our world?" Superman descended gracefully, his tone calm but assertive. "I mean no harm. My world is under threat, and I followed a trail of energy here. If I've caused a disturbance, I'll set it right." However, before the heroes could discuss further, Skeletor appeared, his shrill laughter echoing across the plains. Flanked by an army of shadowy minions, he pointed his havoc staff at the two heroes. Two champions from different worlds. How delightful! This energy rift has delivered me a chance to destroy you both. He-Man turned to Superman. "If you truly mean no harm, help me stop him." Superman nodded, his eyes narrowing at Skeletor. "I'm with you." Together, the champions charged at Skeletor's forces, their combined might proving overwhelming. He-Man's sword cut through dark constructs while Superman's heat vision burned through the enemy ranks. Yet Skeletor was undeterred, using the chaos to unleash a devastating blast of energy from his staff, further destabilizing the rift. As the dust settled, the sorceress reappeared, her face stricken with horror. "The rift is growing. Only one of you can close it, but it requires all your strength. This will determine who is the mightiest among you." The heroes exchanged glances. Superman, ever noble, offered, "I'll do it. My powers can handle the strain." But He-Man's voice was firm. "This is my world, my responsibility. I won't let anyone else bear this burden." The sorceress interjected, "The rift's energy will pit your strengths against one another. Only the victor will wield the power to restore balance." Superman and He-Man locked eyes, mutual respect tempered by duty. They both knew what had to happen. The battle was inevitable. As the energy from the rift swirled around them, the stage was set for an epic clash of titans. The mightiest warrior of Eternia was about to face the last son of Krypton in a duel that would decide the fate of two worlds.
Are you just watching?
Subscribe, please.
The swirling energy of the rift illuminated the battlefield with an eerie glow, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain of Eternia. Superman and He-Man stood opposite each other, both aware of the stakes. The fate of their worlds hung in the balance, and only one would emerge victorious. Superman's voice broke the tense silence. "I don't want to fight you, He-Man. There has to be another way." He-Man tightened his grip on the power sword, his expression resolute. "I don't want to fight you either. But the sorceress said only one of us can close the rift. If you won't stand down, I have no choice. The moment He-Man charged, the ground beneath his feet cracked with the force of his leap. He swung his sword in a powerful arc, aiming to test the strength of the Man of Steel. Superman dodged with superhuman speed and countering with a controlled punch that sent shockwaves across the battlefield. He-Man stumbled but quickly regained his footing, impressed by the Kryptonian's raw power. You're strong, stranger, but I've faced gods before. Superman's eyes glowed red as he unleashed his heat vision. The searing beams carved a path through the ground, forcing He-Man to deflect them with his sword. The blade absorbed the energy, glowing brightly as He-Man redirected it back at Superman. The Kryptonian crossed his arms in defense, the blast barely phasing him. The battle escalated into a blur of fists, sword strikes, and unimaginable power. Superman's punches shook the heavens, while He-Man's blows cracked the earth. Every strike was met with an equal counter, each hero pushing the other to their limits. But Superman began to notice something. He-Man's strength wasn't just physical. His connection to the power of Grayskull gave him a near-limitless reserve of energy. Each time Superman knocked him down, He-Man rose stronger, fueled by his unyielding determination. "You're tougher than I expected," Superman admitted, landing a thunderous blow that sent He-Man skidding across the ground. "And you're just as mighty as the legends say," He-Man replied, wiping blood from his lip. With a roar, He-Man leaped into the air, bringing his sword down in a mighty strike. Superman caught the blade with his bare hands, the impact creating a shockwave that shattered nearby rocks. For a moment, the two were locked in a battle of pure strength, each straining against the other. But Superman's eyes narrowed in focus. He tapped into the full extent of his Kryptonian power, his muscles surging with energy from Earth's yellow sun. With the mighty shove, he disarmed He-Man, sending the power sword flying across the battlefield. He-Man didn't falter. Even without his weapon, he launched a relentless assault, his fists colliding with Superman's chest like thunderclaps. But Superman was faster, stronger, and more durable. A well-placed uppercut sent He-Man crashing to the ground, the air knocked from his lungs. Superman hovered over him, extending a hand. "Stay down, He-Man. You've done enough. Let me finish this." He-Man struggled to rise but collapsed, his body pushed beyond its limits. He looked up at Superman, his expression a mix of frustration and respect. "You're the better man. Protect your world and mine." Superman nodded, his face solemn. He turned toward the rift, his body glowing with energy as he unleashed his full power to stabilize it. The rift shrank under his might, eventually sealing with a deafening roar. The skies of Eternia cleared, and the sorceress appeared beside the exhausted He-Man. "The balance is restored. Your sacrifice will be remembered." Superman landed gently, his cape billowing in the breeze. He extended his hand to He-Man, helping him to his feet. "You're a true hero, He-Man. Your world is lucky to have you." "And yours is lucky to have you," He-Man replied, shaking Superman's hand firmly. As the portal back to Earth opened, Superman glanced over his shoulder. "If we meet again, let's hope it's as allies, not opponents." He-Man smiled faintly. "Agreed." With that, Superman stepped through the portal, leaving Eternia safe and its champion humbled but unbroken.